Everyday superpower. We talk relationships, game, body language, everything in between. I got a good one for you today. I'm going to talk to you about a friend of mine. As you get older, you all go on your own way, take your own path. So I don't see this individual as much as I once used to, but I used to spend quite a bit of time with this guy. And what I'm going to talk about is dating. I'm going to talk about attraction, and I'm going to talk about how your reputation precedes you and how you can utilize it and essentially weaponize it to get and attract what you want. You know, when people talk about the law of attraction and if you believe you can achieve, it's nonsense, right? But what isn't nonsense is that you can create a pull from that which you desire through this means, through establishing and developing a reputation of that which serves as the magnet to attract the energy, the action, the people you wish to attract. My friend was good with women, fantastic with women, right? Now, he was in a long-term relationship, and what had happened is he got traumatized at one point during that long-term relationship as to where he stopped touching himself. He stopped masturbating, right? He got caught out and, it put him to shame, it embarrassed him to a degree as to where he literally developed a degree of traumatization where he just didn't want to do it no more. He was, turned off in itself by the idea of being turned on and engaging in the act of self-love. Now that relationship turned to shit and he became single. Now, given he had now been put in this forced position of retentiveness, retaining his seed, by default, it was already to his benefit, now being a single man, because that energy, that drive, that biological norm, which isn't norm no more because they know the power as to which your seed holds, so they will try any way to soak that out of you, right? Day in, day out, week in, week out, through giving you easy pleasures to the eyes, easy stimulation to your imagination. He retained his seed by default. And in doing so, he became, for lack of a better term, a very horny guy, right? It worked in his favour. It worked in his favour. And it manifests through his body language. As I remember certain scenarios as to where we were in, a certain living space, someone's house. And he would be typing away to someone. And I would see his pelvic area, unconscious to him, slowly thrusting the kitchen island before him as he was typing. And I say, man, you've got an energy. You got an energy. You're radiating that energy for the world to see. But the thing is, as to where some might find that overt and creepy and so forth, that is just normal. That is essentially the way we are supposed to be. And the way he expressed himself was to complete benefit of himself. Because it worked. He engaged with women in the right way. Women loved him, right? And he wasn't the most handsome man in the world. He wasn't the tallest man in the world. As far as material possession is concerned, didn't have much, But the rakish element of his persona, his love for women, was mirrored from the feminine back to him. As he expressed such desire, the woman couldn't help but be mesmerized and hypnotized by this biological reality of a man who has this insatiable necessity for release. And he's chosen you, of anyone. Isn't that a pleasure? You see? He started sleeping with a few women. His performance, his imprint through the act and engagement of doing the deed with these women built him a reputation. The world tells you, society tells you, women tell you, men who don't know any better tell you that the idea of sleeping around, that the idea of being known as a person who sort of uses and loses these women is a bad reputation to have. You're not gonna get on well with the ladies because they're gonna see you as perhaps manipulative, perhaps predatory, and whatnot. But this guy was a symbol of how that's incorrect and how your reputation serves as a magnet that pulls more, right? If you're known for making money, you're going to attract people who want to make money and want to do business with you, right? If you are the center of attention, if you are a celebrity, if you are famous for a particular trait and you wear that on your sleeve and you are shining, if you are prominent within your social circle, you'll only continue to garner more and more attention, right? Algorithmically, as more people through word of mouth, through these stems of, social communications you've got continue talking about you, and it just garners you more and more and more attention. On social media, if you've got 500 followers, then 500 followers are going to do a better job of getting your word out there, going to do a better job of engaging with you and thus promoting you to more people than having 20 followers or 50 followers or so on and so forth. And then even more so if you've got 1,000 engaged followers, it works exponentially. There's a compounding interest. And the way this guy developed a reputation for being a lover boy sparked curiosity, because the way he was engaging was not one of porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Do you see where I'm coming from? The way he was engaging was, at long last, I've found a man. At long last, I've found a man who treats me well. At long last, I've found a man who engages in the act. In this primitive... Now, I don't know what he got on with, right? But all I do know is that the root of this, the seed of this, was through the... What do you call it? He just wasn't touching himself. He wasn't ridding of his masculine spirit, his entity, his soul, his everything, his biological reality, that which created him, ancestry above and beyond. It's a necessity. It is your purpose. If you got a roof over your head, if you got food in your stomach, the second purpose and protocol your body needs to engage with is chase down a mate and procreate. Bada bing, bada boom. Pimping ain't easy. Now, approach it in this way. If this man is engaging with intercourse with all these different women, and you go over and talk to him because you've heard about this man who just happens to be able to do so, and if you can just happen to be able to do so, that brings a woman's defenses down, because she sees you as a man who isn't threatening, because these women are allowing you into their personal space happily. Multiple women are allowing you into their personal space happily, right? There's a knock-on effect. She comes to you as a mirror of herself to see where she stands in the pecking order, where she stands as far as value is concerned, right? Listen to me, because if you turned her down and you've let everybody else in, that's going to be crushing to her. She's going to actively come to you due to your reputation, due to the fact you are a whore, and she's going to use you to garner her value in the sexual marketplace. Yes? She's going to want to have sex with you, because if you don't, she's the problem, it's not you. Have you seen how you flipped the script here? This is, going a little deeper into that cliche where they say a lock that's opened by any key is a shitty lock, but a key that can open any lock is a master key, or something along the lines of that. You see that, these kids posting this, or these immature people posting this cliche without any further depth of understanding other than the fact, oh, blah, 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 blah. But there is an air of truth to it, because she puts more on the line by opening her legs to you than you do, you know, going out and spreading your seed far and wide. That's why there's so many broken households. That's why there's a promotion of broken household, because this relationship is very easy to manipulate and to pry open by the powers that be, you know? It's the biological reality of the man. Maybe there's something within that man that needs to spread his seed far and wide, and maybe there's something in that woman that needs him to hang around for at least 18 years to look after that kid. And the clash of reality needs to come to a conclusive agreement between the two. But given that there's an outside influence that tells you that you're okay being a single mother, that you're okay being independent, if anything you should be independent, and telling that man he ain't shit, and telling that man blah 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 blah, and pushing him in different directions, especially some demographics and communities more than others, right? Put the dad in jail. Yes, I'm not talking about that today, but you know where I'm coming from. So his reputation preceded him. I'll put a long story short. He did end up catching something. That's with him for life. It's not fatal, it's not terminal, but, you know, his actions did come full circle. You could perhaps say it was karmic, you know. That's up to you. That's up to you. All I can say is that the proof was in the pudding. If you yourself want to go out there and experience women, when you establish a reputation within a community that you are Casanova, the women will approach you from that perspective before even engaging in that first hello, because she will have heard of you from her friends. She will have, you know, already calibrated a means of perception prior to your initial conversation. And that's not purely to say, you know, you can use this to be the most sexual man on planet Earth. No, not at all. You could also use this, as I said, to get money. You could use this to, on the flip side, to garner aggression. If you're known as a controversial figure, if you're known as a man who is horrible, and people talk about you behind your back to other people saying you're horrible, people prior to even engaging with you will perceive you as horrible. This is how like celebrity culture works and whatnot. People cast judgment and project their own opinions through what they've heard and what they've been told to think upon these characters when they don't really know them, you know. And whilst we're on that note, we can finish. And there's particular figures, celebrity figures, who garner a lot of attention, and most of them come with a mystique, a mystery, and an allure, a shroud of fog surrounds them as to where it's in their benefit to establish a reputation of their own, preferably for positivity. But, you know, I don't watch wrestling, but I know within, you know, BS wrestling, like your WWE and stuff, you can be a good guy or a bad guy, right? If you're a bad guy, you still garner attention. You still might be the fantasy. You still will be creating this currency of attention that the woman desires so much, perhaps above and beyond actual financial currency. But you're doing it within the realms of negative energy as opposed to positive. And if you can handle that negative energy, perhaps it's just as important as the positive, because you show how strong you are by just washing off the fact that you're judged, you're criticized, you're dismissed. People talk about you, but it doesn't make a difference to you because you're a lion in this kingdom. You see, your reputation precedes you. It's important. Garner it, hold on to it. Don't let anybody ruin it. I'm signing out. Peace.